Hi, third graders, and welcome to our reading workshop. So we are actually, I'm pretty excited because we get to start our new reading unit, which is on nonfiction reading. So today, I'm going to go over a few things. One, of course, we're going to have our mini lesson on our first lesson dealing with nonfiction reading. But then I'm also going to take the time to show you a small little tutorial on how you can access the learning site Epic, which is for Epic Books, where if you don't have many or any nonfiction reading books at home, you will be able to access this site and read some great books from there. They even have it where you can find your actual F&P level. They'll find books that meet your level. There's some books that can even be read aloud to you. And there's a ton of books on there that are just that are not just nonfiction, but we'll want to be accessing those for these upcoming lessons that we'll have together. So I'd like to get started. So make sure you're in a good, comfortable spot. You might want to have a notebook in case you want to take some notes. If you do have a nonfiction book, you can have that with you as well. I'm going to first go over our mini lesson and then we'll go from there. So welcome, readers. Today we are going to start our new unit, which is on nonfiction reading, informational text. And we are going to do three things while we're reading today. We're going to, one, preview the actual book that we'll be reading. Then two, we're going to make a prediction. And then three, we will be thinking about what prior knowledge do we have when it comes to the book that we're reading about the information. I will be giving you an example with a book that I have here on penguins, and then hopefully you'll be able to do the same thing. So one thing that we need to learn is that as an informational reader, we need to make sure that we're ready to read with a lot of energy and power because we're going to be learning some new things and also tapping into our brains and thinking about facts that we already know about a certain topic. So as we preview the story, we're going to want to think about what is being presented to us. What kind of information is going to be in this book? Then we're going to stop and we're going to make some predictions. Based on what we've kind of perused through, let's make predictions on what we think we're going to read more about. And then finally, tapping into your prior knowledge, because we have a lot of knowledge when it comes to certain things. So you want to think about what are some things I already know about. That's going to allow us to get ready to read with some great power and ready to learn some new interesting facts along the way. So I'm going to first show you this. This is the student chart that a lot of times we give out to you or we show you on the board. And this is exactly what I will be doing while I show you with our book on penguins. But you might want to either print this out or access it through our lesson plan document where you found this video. I'll have this linked there so that you can look through this, and this can be your guide, your step-by-step guide when you're reading one of your own books, your nonfiction books. So you can see at the top it says, I can preview, predict, and tap my prior knowledge before reading in this way, and it gives you all these bullet points of the things that you'll be doing. So I'd like to demonstrate what that will look like. So I have this nonfiction book, Penguins, and we are going to first preview this book. So when you preview your book, I want you to check the title. Okay, it's on penguins, that's our title. And now when you preview, we want to look at the table of contents. And we know the table of contents is usually that first or next page. And as I'm looking at this table of contents, I see that it says, what are penguins? Okay, so that's going to be one section. There's another section that's titled Many Penguins. All right, we have another section, the penguin family tree. Then we have the penguin's body. All right, next in our table of contents, penguin homes, hunters and hunted, in the water, moving on land, staying warm and keeping cool. All of these things are different sections that are going to be in this book. So I kind of now see how this book is going to be organized. And I also have the page numbers of what page I can find that info on. So that can now give me a little bit idea of what I'm going to be seeing in this nonfiction book. So now I'm going to just turn through the different pages and look. So when I turn to this page, I see we have some real pictures of penguins, and there's the title, What are penguins? So I'm assuming that this page is going to be just basically telling me what penguins are. that they're a type of bird, and going about it in that way. And then when I turn the page, I see we have our next section, many penguins. All right. So that's going to probably tell me about different types of penguins. And I can see there's different pictures of penguins here. All right, so this brings us to our second section, which is on previewing. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm previewing the book. I'm just looking through it and taking a look and seeing what's taking place here. Another thing that I notice is under each picture, there's some wording. And so those are some text features that we're finding. All right, let's see if we see anything else. All right, look at this page, the penguin family tree. I notice that we have some reading here, but as we look a little closer, there's different types of penguins and they're all labeled, right? Do you see the little names underneath? So this is just another text feature. So I'm going to continue, and I would continue to preview this book and see the different things that I would be reading. Now, when I come to this next section, which is on the penguin's body, we can see that these are actually put into text boxes. So that's all still important information that you'll want to read, right? But it's all in text box form. Take a look at this page. Is there another text feature that you're noticing? Do you see the bold-faced words? So that tells us those are going to be some important, maybe even new words that we'll be able to learn about. Now, as I continue, and I would continue to go through each page, I can see that as I continue to go, I see another bold-faced word on this page. And I'm just kind of getting an idea of how is this book set up? What will I possibly be reading on? This one's really sweet, on baby penguins. So you can see, again, we have our pictures and then a caption underneath each one. All right, and as I get to the very back, we find that we have words to know. And what I'm wondering is, are these going to be the bold-faced words and then giving us the definition? So it's kind of like a dictionary, right? So our glossary. And then we have another informational page on the back. So we first previewed, we looked at the title, we looked at the table of contents to kind of get an idea of what this book was going to be about. Then step 2, I started making predictions about what I was going to read. And to tell you the next part, which is I'm going to start tapping into some of my prior knowledge about penguins. So if I were to take just one section, and I take the first section, what are penguins? So I'm thinking, as I said before, I think that this page is mainly going to be about what are penguins. And now I'm going to tap into my prior knowledge. And I know that penguins tend to live in cold areas and near ice, and I know that they have feathers. So those are some things. So now I'm going to read this section. What are penguins? Penguins may not look like other birds, but they are birds. Like all birds, penguins are covered with feathers. They're warm-blooded, which means their body stays the same temperature no matter how warm or cold their surroundings are. All birds, including penguins, hatch from eggs. All right, so I noticed that my prior knowledge about them having feathers, I did read that in here, but something new to me is learning that they are warm-blooded. And that's one of the dark, bold words. And I understand now that warm-blooded means that they can keep their same body temperature no matter if they're in cold or warm environments. So that's pretty interesting. So today, when you start reading, I want you to do those things also. I want you to find your informational text, and I first want you to preview the story. I want you to look at the title, look at the table of contents. Then I want you to predict. And I want you to make some predictions on what you think you're going to be reading about. What will be in each of those sections? And then finally, I want you to tap into your prior knowledge. What are some facts that you already know about that certain, whether it's an animal or plant or something in history, what's something that you already know? And then when you're reading, I want you to tap back in and see if your predictions were correct. So that's what your job will be to do today with your lesson. And again, your student chart is online, and you'll be able to access this to help guide you through the steps that I just shared with you. Now, I do want to show you that we will be able to get books from, like I told you, Epic. So I want to take the time to show you how you can access that. I am going to end this video, but I will make it as a second video and take you through the steps by showing you on my computer. All right, my readers and my third graders, I hope you're having an awesome day. Good luck with this first lesson. I know it's going to go great. And after you listen to this lesson, try to take 25 to 30 minutes today, if you can, to find some time to do some of your own independent reading. All right, stay tuned for the next video on how to access the Epic books. All right, take care.